Hi.
So fun. Thank you
It
for
is.
being here.
Oh my gosh, Kela, thank you so much for inviting me. I am so
Yeah.
excited.
Yes, super duper excited. So cool. So yeah, just tell us first who you are.
My name is Monica Vivas for the ones that don't know me. I am an IVF mentor and coach. And I became what I am now because of my own struggle and path into becoming a mother. I went through 5 cycles of IVF, and I have 2 beautiful IVF girls. Yes.
Oh, sweet. I love it. So tell me a little more about your story. Kind of, walk us through as much detail as you want to give us and just so our listeners can relate.
Yes, absolutely, Kela. So I'll try to make it the shortest possible because it's a little long, but I'll
Right.
squeeze it. So, well, it's funny. I born in Colombia, but I live now in the States. So I met my husband in Match.com. Actually, I was there. He was he was here. It was like kind of love at first sight over the phone, and exchanging pictures to see all of that. He went to Colombia to meet me, and then 2 months and a half later went back. We married, and then I came here. I was not too into having children or into marriage, but life today could be something, and tomorrow you don't know.
Yeah.
So when I married my husband, he had a daughter, which is my stepdaughter from a previous marriage, and she was 1 year and 8 months. So every time Daniela used to come to visitations and everything, so when she used to leave, it was kind of like hard for me. I say, you know what? I want to be a mother. And I took it for granted because I come from a very big family. My mom, as my mom's side, they were 18 kids, 9 boys, 9 girls.
Wow.
From the same dad and mom. So I have like 240 somethings, and all of them are super fertiles, like an expression in my country. They said all of them, they used to get pregnant with the blow of a kiss, the girls especially. So I was like, oh no, that's it. I'm going to start to try. And, in 3-4 months, I know I'm going to be pregnant. Well, it didn't happen. And we were trying for about 6-7 months. I went to the doctor. He said, sometimes it's stressful. Give it a try. Most couples give a try of 1 year, and then we see. We continue until we end up doing it the year. I start to think it's something with me. It's not with him because he already has a girl. So I went to the doctor after the year, and he put me on Clomid. He said, let's try for another 3 months. Nothing happened. And eventually, all my life, since I started my periods, they were very heavy. So eventually, after all the tests, everything came good, except when they came and told me, that due to endometriosis, I had my both fallopians to block. They did this test, hysterosalpingogram.
HSG?
Yes, exactly. So that's how they found out. So my doctor said, let's try laparoscopy. They try. We kind of use all the resources to try to do it naturally, but it didn't work. So it came out that I need to do in vitro. I have no idea about what it was. Nothing, not me, not my husband. I got, like into a mental state that, oh my God, what is this? It's like, I'm not going to get pregnant. And he was like, you need to chill because it still is like a way to do it.
Right.
How it is. I start to go and read and injections and here. So I got more scared, and he told me, you need to stop to Google and read. We need to go with what, our doctor says, and then we go chill. But it was not easy. So we went to a doctor, very good one here in New York. We did our first IVF, and I got pregnant.
Yay!
Yes, so it's my now almost 15-year-old girl.
Oh.
Another thing, Kela, in that time, nobody told us that we could froze eggs, or we could froze embryos. It was like we weren't with no knowledge about that. So we have our baby, and then we said, in 2-3 years, we jump on another in vitro. And again, I took it for granted, and I said, it's going to be easy. If this one was easy, it's easy.
Yeah.
And that's where the struggle starts. So we tried again with the doctor, with the same. He's amazing. But one of the nurses did a mistake with another patient chart, and they twisted the medicine.
Oh my gosh.
They put me the wrong quantity. Well, they gave me the wrong quantity. I got OHSS, so that cycle got to be canceled.
Oh,
and I had to wait another 3 months until, my body recovers. He was I love him, and I think you need to give chances to people. He assumed responsibility. He went and gave us the third cycle at no cost. And he even gave us back the medicine that we used up to the point that it was canceled. I got pregnant. But unfortunately, that's my stillbirth baby girl at 39 weeks.
Sorry. Oh my goodness. Oh.
Yes, everything was okay. I just have some kind of issue in the end with my blood and blood clot in the umbilical cord, basically in the life of the baby. I had to go through regular delivery. It was devastating. It was emotionally, drained. It was, you have the IVF itself and then this. So I was in a very bad state, and I told my husband that I need to feel that space. I need that baby, because it's so selfish. I didn't care about that he was there or my mom or people that love me. It was my pain. It's a very selfish, survival thing. I don't know how to call it. So he was like, you cannot do that. Emotionally, you are not ready. Your body's also not ready. I was wrapped my breast because I need to dry my milk. I was all ready for a baby.
Yeah.
But I was stubborn. I insisted. So my husband spoke to my doctor, and he recommended another doctor. And we went to him, and he told me the same like my husband. You are not ready. You need to wait. And I drilled both of them. And I was like, I need a baby. I'm sorry. So eventually, we tried, got pregnant. But then because of that reason of not being physically good and emotionally in a terrible state, I miscarried at 7 weeks. Then my marriage almost crumbled. We almost got divorced because these kind of things affect also relationships.
Oh yeah, it's trauma. I mean, this is trauma. Big time.
It is. So, we were in a terrible state in our marriage, and eventually we came together and said, okay, we are together because we are used to each other or because we love each other. So, we love each other. We decide that's it. We need to stop to think about baby. We have already a girl. I have my stepdaughter. We need to put everything together and work in each other and work on our own issues. We took a year to do that. Everything came back to better than it was. It's not perfect, Kela, but it's good.
Never
and
is.
then we said, we're going to try a last cycle, and whatever happens, yes, beautiful, no. So we stay with what we have. And we did, and now I have Maya. She's 7 years old.
Oh,
yes.
Yay. Such a beautiful story.
When Maya came to the world, I thought, I basically kind of healed completely the loss of Isabel. I feel she's kind of the same soul, different body. Of course, she's a unique person. But it's like, I don't know if you know about, some people talk a lot about spirit babies. So I think she came back in the right moment, the moment that she was not, here. So she came back in the right moment. And all of this was the reason I chose to be a coach, because I didn't have that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it existed. So that's basically my story.
Oh my gosh, you make me cry. I love it.
Thank you. Yes, every time I talk about my stillbirth, don't get me wrong, it's a little emotional. But at the same time, I see Maya, sometimes she say things to me and I'm like, wow, yes, that's you, like.
Yeah. Such a powerful story too, to help so many people, because I'm sure it's common, and we need to talk about this to help others. So thank you for doing that.
Yes, Kela, it's very common. We are not the only ones. We think we are the only ones. And we think why this is for me, but why this is happening to me. But there is reason for everything.
I agree 100%. I love it. So tell me a little more about, how, so you went through this struggle, you went through IVF, you did a baby naturally, and now you're a coach. So tell me a little bit more about that. So how do you, if somebody were to hire you, what does it look like to work with an IVF coach? Because I know a lot of people have never heard of this.
Yes, as we are in our field, there is a lot of fertility coach. Why I focus on IVF? Because, myself, I went through IVF. And believe it or not, by being an IVF coach doesn't mean that I will come, for example, to a prospect client and tell him, you know what, yes, IVF is your way. The opposite. I always try to ask the first question is why you are doing IVF. What was the reason? Because financially it's drainer too, you know, that now, you know, here in the States it's very expensive now. There is a lot of countries abroad that offer it, but it's still, even if you're going to do it outside, it's still financially affecting big time. A lot of insurance don't cover. So I go to that first, why you are doing it. Because if there is a couple or woman that is coming to me and telling me, you know what, they found out that I have unknown infertility. Okay, so let me ask you, did you do an HCHSG? Your tubes are blocked? No, they didn't find us. So there is a possibility that you can try naturally. So I will divide that part of the coaching and say, let's do a 3-month challenge of changing some eating habits, household tools in your house, what you use, things that can be affecting that part of your fertility, the physical, and see if you can get pregnant, you know, naturally before jumping into that. If it is a reason that definitely like me, you know, after all what you did, you can't have another option. So then we jump into a different coaching packages that I have. I have 3 of them. And of course, I work with having that connection. So before anything, I offer a discovery call. I offer a 45-minute discovery call because you need to know, I need to know if we are connected, if the approach that I have worked for them or the opposite. If not, I always will suggest any of my fellow friends and coaches like you, because, you know, I always give referrals. I like collaborations. Why? Because our community needs that support. It's not only about, you know, it's not only about the money or competition. I don't see it in this area like this. And then if we have affinity, we have connection, we start to work together.
I love that. Yeah. And I think that's why you and I connected so much, because I feel the exact same way. I think there's so many people that need help, and me included. I came into this because my own struggles with fertility. And so I can really connect with you on that. But there's just so many people that need our help. And so it's wonderful to have different coaches that match with different people. And so it's lovely. I love it.
I forgot to mention that also all my journey inspired me to write my book, the IVF Planner.
Yes.
Because, you know, like IVF is something that, you know, is based on numbers, results, your blood, that is every day something. So I used to take notes every time in little papers. Then the papers get lost. Then, you know, I'm calling again. I'm sorry, I forgot. My paper lost. So it's not a book of too much content, text content. It tells the basics, tells my story, why I wrote it, but it has more, you know, like all the charts. So a couple or a woman that is going to IVF can have recorded their whole cycle. And it has an option for also multiple cycles, what to do when you have a BFN, which is big fat negative, or big fat positive, and all of that. I wish to have it like more in a binder style, because, you know, you need sometimes when you have multiple, but it's a little bit more expensive. So the chance is, you know, I always tell people, if you have multiple cycles, take a little copy of the white pages, put it in a binder and attach to it. I love that. And I in my works of my second book, which is actually all about stillbirth, my story and my experience.
Oh, wow. I'm very excited to read that second book. And I just got your first book and I love it. I want to say that it's beautiful. So everybody that's on here, if you guys are going through IVF, thinking about it, definitely pick up Monica's book. And it's on Amazon, right?
Yes, it's on Amazon. It's on Barnes and Nobles too.
Do you have a copy to hold up?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, hold it up.
Actually, here. Sorry about that part. But yes, here, darling.
Yes, it's beautiful. Yeah, and I think we're going to do a giveaway for that too, correct?
Yes, we're going to do a giveaway, you and me, because I'm waiting for your book too.
Yes.
As I love the fact that your book is also focused on nutrition. You know, nutrition is a big part on our fertility. Now that I have 2 daughters, I am so careful, with what we eat, what we use in the house, because we didn't know in the past.
Yeah.
Nobody
Same
knew.
with me.
Exactly, right? That's how it is.
Yeah. So let's go into that a little bit more. Tell me kind of like your top 5 things that you recommend to your clients. And then that can be food or lifestyle or just kind of like some little tips and tricks that you would recommend.
Well, yes, I have so many, but there is few, and I'm going to tell you that 5. Number 1, if you are entering into an IVF cycle, the first thing to do is to accept. That's it. If you are there, acceptance. Why acceptance? Acceptance means you need to realize that it's not going to be an easy path. It's not easy. And by accepting that and be aware of that, you also are using just right there a tool to realize that, okay, it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to make the best. Number 2, don't Google. Don't Google. Because I've been there. And it's
no Dr. Google.
No, don't. That's why I said, if your clinic, because of all the amount of patients they handle, they cannot offer you that emotional support. There is plenty of Facebook groups, your group, my group, that, there is a lot of women and people that are going through that, and you will find better answers there than Googling. Googling drives you nuts, put more pressure and more anxious. Nutritionally, well, the basics. If you are a person that usually don't eat a lot of processed food, and sweet and unhealthy, so if you know that you're going to start something like this, try to change a little bit that habits into more healthy food, at least through the process until the end, because definitely what we put in our body affects our fertility. That is a total use an assurance. If you're gonna eat every day French fries and hamburger and milkshakes, trust me, it's you are putting a lot of unhealthy things in your body. Another tip that I have is definitely don't, during the 2-week wait especially, which is the most crucial time. Number 1, do some acupuncture, during the process, before transfer, after transfer, maybe, meditation and art therapy. Why? Because it's a very crucial period that it can seem like years. It's only 14 days.
Right.
It can seem years. So I use color therapy, coloring. I used to color a lot in mandalas. Because that helps you to shift your mind, to distract your mind, to be stuck on that thing. And the last one, that is also for that 2-week wait, is don't do tests at home.
Yeah.
Wait until your beta test, because sometimes we test at home, we can have false positives or false negatives. And that's the same like the Google thing, going to Google. You are going to drive yourself crazy. If you get a positive and then in your beta you're going to get a negative, be assured that the beta is absolutely more accurate than the opposite. So just, bite your nails if that is the last tool that you have to. That's why I suggest meditation, coloring, and all of that. But don't do that. This is my 5 ones. I can squeeze them too.
I love it. I love it. And yes, I will say with my second, I got a negative pregnancy test at home, but I was actually pregnant, and I have a 4-year-old to show for that. So you can definitely get a false negative.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah. And I just remember I cried like, oh, but nope, I was pregnant. So I wish I had never have done that. So, yep.
Yes, that is so true. Yes, Kela. So that's my 5 tips.
I love that. Perfect. Awesome. So tell us, I know we got to wrap up. We're going a little long. I could just talk to you forever.
Me too.
Yeah. But tell everybody where they can find you.
Okay, so as well as you and most of us in this field, Instagram is the main thing that I handle. I have a Facebook group also, in which I have coaches like you, which I'm gonna have you now. I can say it here.
Yes.
They're giving tools and all of that, and of course my website. The main is Instagram, Facebook, and my website. Yes.
And do you want to tell those links for anybody listening?
So I can put them in the comments now.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
So in the meantime, so my Instagram handle first, which is Monica Bivas. You can follow me there. That's Instagram. And I always Kela. Always answer personally my text or DM. So the Facebook group is called the IVF Journey. When you go in the search, you can find it right away. Journey. And my website is monicabivas.com. Did you? Yes, I was able to send all of them. So that's the three main things that you.
Perfect.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Monica. Do you have any last words of advice for our listeners? Anything you want to say before we end?
Well, yes, listen, I know that it's a hard journey. It's very difficult, but please never lose hope. And why never lose hope? Because there is a lot of us that reach that dream. You are an example. I am an example. And trust me, if you follow any of our accounts, you're going to see that we follow others the same. So don't lose hope, because there is inspirational stories. There is people that go even harder than us, had more cycles, had more things. So always being thinking that hope is there. Doesn't mean that you need to say, oh no, I'm not going to feel my negative feelings. Allow them, but at the same time, by allowing them, you are opening for others. So don't lose hope. And next week, before we go, I have you in my Instagram, so everybody knows that she's going to be in my handle next week.
Yay! I can't wait. Well, thank you so much. I love getting to talk to you. You're amazing. So I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Likewise, Kela. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye,
bye. Bye, guys.